Welcome to the OddsBreakers, #1 place for shared sharp betting information.
Welcome back to podcast 16 of 2019, March Madness Bracketology. I can use that word, right? I'm your host, Kiev O'Neill. You can tweet us at The OddsBreakers. Follow us on Instagram /The OddsBreakers, as well as Facebook /The OddsBreakers. We hope you had a fantastic Selection Sunday. I know I did. Got to watch a lot of games. Bet on a couple of them. Came out okay. A little bit less on the money line rollovers, but I bailed on a couple as well, so not terrible there. Let's get into a little bit of Selection Sunday, shall we? So it looks like the committee, did what the committee does, And not that I'm complaining because, to be honest with you, this tournament's awesome. 64 teams plus the 4 playing games, 68, whatever, is the perfect number out of 353 basketball teams. Don't change it. People can complain about Clemson getting in. People can complain about NC State not getting in. Clemson and NC State did not deserve it compared to top 5 seeds. They're in a Power 5 conference. Now, did they deserve it over Temple? Yeah. Did they deserve it over Washington? Yeah. But still, the complaining has to kind of be small because the truth is, it's just nice to have this many teams, and we know Clemson and NC State are not the top team or even the top 4. So that's why this is perfect. The complaining, it's nice to make the dance, but the truth is, if you're left out, you didn't do enough, right? But on the other side of the coin, the committee didn't do any favors for Duke and Michigan State. Michigan State, hard schedule. They had that extremely tough game against Kansas in the beginning of the year. Came back and actually they were down by 20-something and they only lost by 5. They played Texas, Louisville, Florida, Pretty good non-conference schedule. They lost to Indiana twice. Sometimes a team has your number. They lost to the other top team, Purdue. Stunk one at Illinois, and that's about it. They beat Michigan 3 times. As a matter of fact, if you look at most Vegas power ratings and KenPom, Michigan State is not only a top 5 or 6 team, they are a top 4 team, And so why are they putting them against Duke if Duke's the overall 1 seed in the East? Maybe Duke, they felt that shouldn't be the overall 1 seed because I guess Virginia's record was a little bit better. Virginia has, 3 total losses. Duke has 5 total losses. Another thing that can be said, maybe the committee wanted to punish Duke because they get the top 5, 3 of the top 5 recruits. That's like having 3 top 5 draft picks in the NFL, if you want to think about it, or the NBA. Maybe they want to get punished a little bit for that, but I don't know. Another thing you can say, I guess, Michigan State's a little bit more injured. Aarons is definitely going to be out the way he rolled that ankle. That's a high ankle sprain. I've done that before playing basketball in my heyday, probably in the park. And I still have pain from it, to be honest with you. Once in a while, my foot rolls. But anyways, maybe it's because they think they're a weaker 2 seed. But then you got Michigan. That's a 2 seed on the easy side of the bracket. They're playing Gonzaga, and we know Gonzaga's powerful, but they had the easiest schedule out of probably all of the tournament teams, much less maybe St. Mary's, right? But Gonzaga had the easiest schedule playing in the West Coast Conference, and where most of those teams None of them are in the top 50 except for St. Mary's, right? So you put, I mean, if I'm a number 2 seed, that's where I want to go. I don't want to go under, Virginia. I definitely don't want to go under Duke. I don't want to go under North Carolina. But Gonzaga, I can definitely live with. And you got Michigan sitting there, and then the other number 2 seed, Kentucky. I thought they would have been better fitted there, even Tennessee. But either way, it doesn't matter. Ken Pom actually has Michigan the top 5 team, so maybe they went by that a little bit. I don't know why they gave so much love to the Pac-12. Maybe it's ASU's hard non-conference schedule that they went through. I definitely like that. But, they kind of faltered a little bit in the Pac-12. Ended up not being ranked too high, And I don't know what happened there. I really love their coach, Bobby Hurley. But ASU is ranked ahead of some of those teams like, the Clemsons, the Memphises, they're right next to Memphis, Lipscomb, Indiana, Nebraska, Penn State, TCU, Creighton, Texas, kind of interesting. And then Washington's not far above them. Washington has 0 top 50 wins, my friends. 0. Okay? 0. That's the funny thing about the committee. They say that in order to keep someone out, they'll say, they had 9 losses and no top 50 wins. They're out. And then they say, the Pac-12, Washington's schedule and what they did in the Pac-12 regular season really puts them at. They really have no basis, and they make excuses for all their crazy moves. There's no consistency there. But all in all, at the end of the day, you still got to beat every team. All right. Well, let's get into that new way of sports betting that I have discussed before called FanVest. FanVest Wagering Exchange. I actually logged in. It's pretty awesome. They're like the stock market of sports. FanVest is a digital exchange that lets you invest and trade fantasy sports teams like stocks to monetize your sports knowledge without losing your ass or your wallet. FanVest replace complicated odds with intuitive, tradable fantasy sports teams, which are values determined by the marketplace, as well as how they do. FanVest is launching a free-to-play March Madness Portfolio Challenge on Selection Sunday, March 17th, with a $5,000 cash prize for the winning portfolio. Beyond simply picking a bracket, which locks you in for the entire tournament, and you can be busted, FanVest lets you play through the final round, a.k.a. reinvesting. I would imagine if you're sucking, you can reinvest your teams in the low seeds and possibly get some upsets. On Selection Sunday, sign up for free at FanVestWageringExchange.com. That's FanVestWageringExchange.com to instantly receive 1,000 Fanbucks to build the portfolio of teams you think will advance. Team shares are priced based on historical winning percentage, which adjusts as the tournament progresses, allowing you to reinvest in the remaining teams after each round. If you're bullish on a particular team, you can increase your exposure the way a bracket won't let you, or get rewarded by picking lower-seeded teams without risking busting your bracket. Join FanVest at FanVestWageringExchange.com for your shot at the $5,000 prize, and everyone in the top 10 gets at least 100 bones. I'm going to be in. This is awesome. I'm excited for it also to roll out later in the season with the real McCoy, baby. The real money. Check out FanVest Wagering Exchange before the tournament starts. This episode is being sponsored by MyBookie.ag for a 100% sign-up bonus. Please visit MyBookie and use the promo code TheOddsBreakers. Terms and conditions apply. If you'd like to help us out with our costs, you'll get my premium picks. Please visit theoddsbreakers.com and sign up to be a monthly subscriber at $12.99 a month. We'll give you our picks before the line moves. $14.99 a month to become a patron subscriber, getting all that, and the podcast a little early. And if nothing else, please visit theoddsbreakers.com and become a Free Picks newsletter subscriber.
Oh, yeah!
All right. Now, moving into our agenda, we are going to go over what I like to do when I pick out my bracket. And I'm going to go over my bracket with you. Does that mean I'm not going to fill out 100 more brackets? No. I will also fill out 100 more brackets. Well, who knows, maybe 10. But I always put my heart and soul into the main one, and I never take credit if I'm filling out multiple brackets unless it's my main one. I guess you can do whatever you want with that. I have buddies that fill out like 50 brackets, and then they'll win one and brag about it. But to be honest with you, I'm going to share my bracket at our new bracket challenge. Free bracket challenge for all of you listeners. Please visit our site. You'll see the link on CBS Sports. It's called the Odds Breakers, as usual. And you can join our free bet bracket challenge. Become a newsletter subscriber. You can just click our newsletter and see where it is. We will give you $250 for free to win it. $150 for second and $50 for third. Completely free from CBSSports.com. If you fill out your bracket and join our group, the Odds Breakers, there's absolutely no reason not to. You know, you're going to be going up against a lot of very knowledgeable people. Obviously, if I win it, I'm not going to count it. Chances of that are probably pretty low, as we know brackets. Usually, it's a woman wearing a purple shirt that wins these things. But we're definitely happy to give back to you. All you have to do is retweet the latest podcast, take a picture of it, send it to admin at the Odds Breakers. You are qualified to win first cash prize. All right, so let me go over what I like to do with my bracket. And real quick, I actually have 4 plays. Well, not all of them are plays. There's some leans for our playing games. But first, I'm going to tell you what I like to do. I like to look at teams judging by 4 things. I like to look at their away stuff because we know it's a neutral court. Now, if I get into handicapping the game itself, I'll look at neutral courts and a lot more than this matchups. But when it comes to filling out the bracket, I look at, obviously, the matchups a little bit. Don't care about the spread so much when I'm filling out my bracket. And then I look out, these things are really key to me. Not mention you want to see where the money's going. But I like to look at away field goal percentage. Because you know it's not at home. None of these teams are playing at home. Away is going to tell you a little bit more about the average. Because there's some teams out there that have higher averages that they really could do on the road. Now, the road is probably going to be maybe a little lower because there's a tournament mentality here. There's some fans there. But at least you know that if they can stick it out on the road, right? So I like it to look at every single team in the tournament's field goal percentage. I like to look at their away offense. I like to look at their away defense. How do you defend on the road? I also take the variance there. And then I like to finally look at the strength of schedule. For instance, Gonzaga has the best away field goal percentage at 52.3%, shooting over very short people in the West Coast Conference. They have the second most points at 85 per game. They allow 71.4 points, which is kind of a lot, but they play fast. And they are variance, 85 minus 71.4 is 13.6 points. They have the second highest variance, actually. There's another team, a quick mention in a minute. But their schedule sucked. Now, their non-conference was actually, I applaud them. They played Tennessee, UNC, and Duke. But they lost 2 or 3 of those games. They did get Duke. We know Duke has a few issues themselves, 3 points and free throws. But yeah, I got to tell you, this schedule was pretty bad. That doesn't mean I'm off of them, though. You know, Gonzaga is a very dangerous team. And, man, they have an amazing coach in Mark Few. So they also have the easiest 2 seed possibly with Michigan. So there's that wrench right there for you. Some teams that stick out, you know. Montana shoots 50% on the road, but they had a bad schedule. Murray State's pretty high, 48.8% on the road. 10.8 variance between their away offense and their away defense. That's good. They beat teams well on the road, but their schedule is medium bad. But I'm liking what I see from Murray State right there, as far as those numbers.